get this house fully situated. It's almost there. It's like 90%, 80, 90%. I'm not close to everybody, so if you want to come by.
Couch co-op!
It's not like a Uber trek.
I would love to, but I'm going to England on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. How long?
Week and a half.
That's not too bad. That's a good distance.
Couch co-op!
Good thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we're still getting our shit together. It's been a project.
Couch
It's
co-op!
not too bad. It's actually looking really nice in other parts of the house.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest video game and beer podcast in the world. And I'm Ian, and I'm extremely tired.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ian.
Hey.
I'm Dave.
I got Jared, Nick, Dave, and Aaron. All of us are here today. How's it going, guys?
Nice.
Hey, doing all right. Doing all right.
Good. Long time no see.
Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Been a minute.
Hot
Yep.
minute. Please do me a favor. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and at Couch Co-op Show. It's all one word, no hyphen. Today, this episode will be the Portland Retro Gaming Expo episode. We'll talk about that. But first, it's time for some Couch Co-op action. Nick, what are we drinking this week?
Formerly of Portland, Oregon, we've got Widmer Brothers Okto. It's their festival ale that used to be their fall seasonal back in the day, and now it just shows up on a random fall.
You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready
Yeah.
for a beer. Let's pop it.
3, 2, 1. These beers provided, by Mr. Nick here.
Interesting nose.
Yes. It was a bit of a challenge to find. It was actually pretty widely distributed a couple weeks ago, and almost as quickly as it appeared, it was almost gone. And
Well, I believe there's a lawsuit because the branding on this says not too bitter, not too sweet. This medium-bodied beer is perfect for autumn's shorter and colder days. Now, I don't know about you, but it has not been colder, and so this beer had to be recalled.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe
right.
that's the problem. It was 85
Yeah.
today, wasn't it? And it's been in the 80s all week, and it's October.
Yeah, it's wild.
Not sure I like the smell on it. Tastes great though.
Yeah, I've always liked this stuff. My scent is not working very well. My allergies are so crazy because the fire near me.
Nix, is that 2 of them in that big stein? You're doing it properly. Oh, 3 of them. You're going for the full liter. Good man.
Kumbaya.
Nice,
Yeah.
man.
Jesus.
That's the way it's
Very
meant to
good.
be drank, isn't it?
So what's everyone's initial thoughts?
I'm enjoying it. It's a really easygoing. It does have the seasonings in it. It's not overbearing in
Yeah.
any way, though.
I don't like the smell, but I like the beer.
Yeah, the smell's not the greatest. Not bad though.
kind of smells like what it would smell like coming out of you.
Wow.
Yeah, some nice beer farts.
It's not quite what I meant, but
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not like very heavy. It's nice
No,
and
it's
light.
5.5. Could drink quite a few of these, I'm sure.
no. The only thing that throws me about this beer, though, is generally I thought Oktoberfest beers were supposed to be lagers, and this one is actually an ale.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah, that is interesting.
It's, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
it's going down.
That's another reason they had to withdraw it. They had to take, because it's like, hey guys,
Yes,
you guys put
yeah.
out an ale. It's supposed to be a lager. What are you guys doing here?
And it's 85 degrees out. What's wrong with you?
Right?
Yeah, it's funny.
funny. So anyway, let's so today we went to the Portland Retro. Well, 4 of us. Aaron had work today.
Yep.
But the majority of us went to Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and it has been not happening for the last couple years, obviously due to COVID. So this is its big return. This is Nick's first time. So Nick, I want you to kind of, what were your kind of impressions of it?
Well, I didn't really know what to expect going in. Part of it was kind of expected, like, a bunch of different booths that were selling used games. I didn't realize they'd actually have an arcade there. That caught me by surprise,
cool.
which was it was cool. Little, I mean, the age of some of the machines, I can understand why Jared was only able to jump around as Leonardo when we were playing the Turtles arcade, and why pole position wasn't quite working as it should with the pedal sticking. And I did notice that some of those machines weren't on, but they were on later, so I was kind of curious if they're having some issues with
They have a repair crew that just goes around constantly repairing them, because I saw someone doing one of the pinball tables, had the whole thing up and was like testing solenoids and stuff, so
Well, I
unfortunately
just noticed like some machines were just like off, so I was just wondering if maybe there was only so much, like trying to like not blow some breakers or anything like that, or maybe just didn't have enough plugs for stuff, and we're just kind of bouncing back and forth. Because I would notice like a couple of the racing games, it was like one was on, and then later I saw two was on, but then like one of the other consoles or one of the other games next to it was off. So maybe it's just a combination, or anyway, and I didn't realize that they were also going to be doing Tetris World Finals there either.
Yeah, they've done that ever.
those
every-
guys are crazy. Like, you watch them and it's just like, if I played that much Tetris to get that good, I would be dreaming of Tetris, basically.
The last time
Yeah.
that they held the Portland Retro Gaming Expo at the Tetris Finals, the guy who had been the champion for forever was beaten by the young kid that was competing today, and so it was like incredibly emotional for him because he had beat this top tier player that had been the champion for so long. So I remember that from last time.
There's a really good video as well about like how they went from like using both thumbs to it's like a kind of tapping thing that they do that gets them that allows them to actually get past the previous point that the players could get to because of the physical limits of your thumbs.
Right, your thumbs do get.
I did
And
notice.
so is it?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask: is the official version the NES version that you play for the World
I guess
Championship, or?
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know what that version is.
Since there's like, well, it looked like the
It
NES.
might be. It might be.
Like a version of it. Granted, they've got stuff to, turn it into a competition. This fucking fly just wants to die in the worst way.
One thing I noticed, I felt like the arcade was smaller, but the console gaming area was a lot bigger.
Yes, I felt that. The other thing I noticed is previous years they've had like Xbox, or they've had kind of like Halo with a full 16-player network, or Battlefront, or some kind of like massive multiplayer kind of game like that on 16 systems all at once, and they didn't have that this year.
Well, they were doing, like Jared mentioned, I don't know if you guys, the Killer Queen.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they had a bunch of those because they were doing some kind of competition with that too.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand what that was, but
it's a cool game. We played it once way back, all of us. But
Okay, some type of platform battler kind of a game.
Yeah, kind of like Towerfall Ascension, maybe, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically the rules for Tetris is it's 8-bit Nintendo Tetris, not the Tengen version. And then you can only use a standard controller, basically.
I didn't realize there was that I had a feeling there had to be rules to it. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where it was like super popularized, right? I always thought that was Game Boy, but maybe not.
Yeah, I always thought it was the Game Boy. I think that would be a bit hard to project, but
Right.
guess not.
Oh, just do it on a.
Does make sense. I did play the Nintendo one a lot more than the Game Boy one.
I like the Nintendo one a lot more.
I think I've got Tetris 2 for my Nintendo. I don't have Tetris 1.
I
I
think the
played
other
a lot of the Game Boy one and
yeah.
an NES one. I liked them both, but the Game Boy one was always the
Yeah.
most easy to get, of course.
I think the
I
other
couldn't
thing
play
that
the
was
Game Boy.
incredibly noticeable at the expo was the amount of I've said this multiple times already, but not on the show, but all the grading. There's so much
Yeah.
grading.
There were at least seemed like there were at least 5 or 6 grading places, and then they had the heritage auctions there, which I'd not seen before, and they were selling some shtick like pre-estimate price $7,500 for this game,
Yeah.
and you're looking at the game and you're like, that's not a particularly rare game. To give you an example, one of the grading places had a sealed. It wasn't. I'm guessing it wasn't even sealed because it said it was like, it's printed in Mexico, and it was an Xbox 360 copy of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Huh.
And it was up for $275, and it was
Jeez.
just like, I think they're just trying to drive the market, if you know what I mean. There's
Mm-hmm.
no one with any sense anyway is going to pay that much for
So
Grand Theft Auto 5.
let's take a game, encase it in a brick so you can't use it, and then pay a shit ton of money for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I
you're-
did notice a lot of the games were just
Don't change a thing on that plan.
$60 to $100 just for what I would call relatively common games in the box.
So basically, these guys are there so you can bring your game to them, and then you pay them money to grade it.
Yeah.
And
Pretty much what they looked like was like if you went to a regular stall and it was just a copy of Super Mario Brothers 3. I saw a couple of box copies of that for anywhere from 60 to 100, depending on how good the box was, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it was in one of those plastic boxes, they were trying to get like twice as much. And I suppose that's what the value proposition is, that you pay. I don't know how much it costs to get them graded, but I'm guessing $20-$30 at least, because the box is probably $10, and it's just a big scam.
But these are all collectors, they're not. Even the people that are behind, they're the people that are running these things aren't gamers. They're just people trying to make a buck.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
But
that was one of the sadder things I saw there. But then I just the price of things in general. I mean, it was quite expensive for some stuff, but there were still bargains to be had. I mean, you can still pick up systems for, I think I saw a Super Nintendo for $60 with an off-brand controller. It wasn't terrible.
Gabe got his N64.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo 64 for $40, and then he bought like a $20 branded controller. So I mean,
the other thing on the N64 that I thought was interesting was they had the video game history people there, and they had a complete box collection of N64 games, and it didn't take up as much space as I thought it would, because I remember the other year they had the NES games, and it was just like wall after wall of games, and this was, I think, 6 walls. It really, you're like, I swear they made more games than that for the N64, but apparently not. So, but the Sega Saturn room was, I thought that was really cool, because they had like probably 15 Sega Saturns set up, and they had like the steering wheel controllers. They had one with 2 light guns for the House of the Dead. They had the Panzer Dragon with the 2 twin joystick kind of thing, and they had a really good selection of stuff. And then in one corner they had this bookcase that had pretty much looked like every Saturn game ever made. They had development consoles. They had like all sorts of stuff. They had this one that was an Hitachi Saturn that was made in Japan that was also a GPS in-car navigation system.
Wow.
So, but I mean, they did a really good job of like, here's this console that most people might know Sega Rally, Daytona USA, Virtua Fighter, those kind of games from, but like padding it out, and they even had a Sega Pluto in there, which was like the prototype version, which is kind of cool to see as well.
Yeah, that is cool.
What I didn't understand was what the hell? Why was the point of this Blockbuster experience thing? I was like, what?
It's probably the new hype for the Netflix film or whatever that is.
That's right.
Just,
Well, I doubt they have anything to do with that.
You see what got me about
Well,
the
I did.
They had
I
the
did
champion.
see that
Go ahead.
Go on.
I was gonna say I saw that the Ben Blockbuster, the last one in existence, had a booth and they were selling like VHS tapes. But
No, right.
That's just all I thought it was. I didn't think it was anything more
they
than
actually. So there was that booth, and that was part of it. And then they had in another hall, in a separate hall, they had this whole setup of like it made to look like a Blockbuster store, and then they had like a living room with a couch and a TV, and then on the other side of the hall was this year's Blockbuster Championship. So they were playing something, and there was like a panel. So it was just like we're trying to do all this Blockbuster stuff.
What got me about that one was that I remember going into Blockbuster and they didn't have any of the cases with the artwork and the stuff to read on the back of the movies. It was just the plain Blockbuster cases, which have the barcode, the Blockbuster logo, and then like a little bit of text saying what movie it is that's in the thing. Whereas normally you'd go in and it was a box with the label on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of bland. It wasn't very interesting to look at shelves just full of cases that someone had put Blockbuster paper inserts in, essentially.
But they were basically selling a bunch of memorabilia type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they were trying to do to make some money. But it just seemed like, what was the point? I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dave and I
missed all that.
We had recently been to the last Blockbuster. And
it's actually you go to the last Blockbuster, it smells like Blockbuster used to smell. The carpets are that kind of thing, and then the movie layout is exactly what I'm talking about. They have one copy one box that's got like the artwork from the DVD, and then behind that they have the 3 or 4 Blockbuster copies that don't have any artwork, that were what you take home, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess signify how many copies of that movie they have available.
Yeah.
Before they destroy it.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, it was that wasn't the best thing. But
it was a weird thing.
Yeah.
I completely missed that. But that must have been like there was some stuff that I missed. I had no idea. Like I never saw the Sega Saturn room. Wasn't there there was like a museum of gaming somewhere?
Yep. That's where they had all the N64 games.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that either.
And then they had all the original artwork from the Nintendo Power magazine covers, or not all, but like
all the I guess clay stuff.
They'd have they'd have the cover, like the actual cover, and then they'd have the painting that it was based on, like artwork of like Lemming or whatever the game was, Street Fighter, Battletoads, and all sorts of stuff. It was really kind of cool.
Where are we at on the beer?
Almost done.
No, I was just curious.
I'm about
not forcing you guys
halfway through.
Not forcing you to chug it. I was just curious. Just doing a beer check.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
I did, and the couple of things I saw. So I was I was actually a little tempted to buy an Evercade, which is this new retro system where you can buy the games on cartridges, and they come in packs of like 5 or 6 games on the cartridge, and they're only 15, 20. They were $15 at the show for the cartridges, which is a pretty good deal, and even brand new they're only 25 or whatever. But it's got a lot of classic games from like Atari and just a lot of games I remember, but I didn't need one. Yeah, so I didn't buy one, but I thought that was kind of cool.
He who has a Raspberry Pi does not need.
The other really cool thing I did see though was a game. I was telling Aaron, because he's a Game Gear man like myself, was a Game Gear that was pimped out. I saw a couple of Game Gears that were pimped out with like new LCD screens that looked really sharp and not wishy-washy like the old ones. But I also saw a couple that had like rechargeable lithium-ion batteries installed in the case, so you got like 5 to 10 hours of battery life out of them, because that was always the problem with the Game Gear. But they were like $300, and it's kind of like, I like my Game Gear, but I'm not that into it, and I've not played it that much.
How much was the Game Gear originally?
I don't remember.
It was more,
I don't remember.
at least in the UK, I think the Game Boy went for about £60 with a copy of Tetris. The Game Gear used to go for about £120 without a game. So it was like getting on for twice as much, you know. Lynx was kind of the same. I think the Lynx was even a bit more expensive, but don't quote me on those prices, but I just remember it was at least 50% more, if not. But,
well, let's
Came out at $149.99.
yeah,
Game Gear.
that sounds about right.
No.
that sounds about right.
And like
which means you could get it for 130.
So the Game Boy was like 89, like $90, wasn't it? Like under 100.
When it first came out?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was $90.
Sorry, I'm all in pounds, so yeah, about
I don't remember.
£60 sounds about right. Then if it was $90,
because the Nintendo at that point was $100, right?
Yes.
You couldn't sell it for more
I
than the main console.
I remember it's $99.99, and then I saw it at Fred Meyer for $99.97. I'm like, wow, we could save 2 cents. That was like a big deal.
All right, let's review this beer. You don't have to chug 20 of them, Nick. You just had to get through at least one.
he will.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm new here.
He's just quality controlling. Maybe after the first one,
maybe
it gets better.
Yeah,
Over
one
this.
glass. One glass.
They did have different dates on them, those cans. One was 5 days older than the other. Well, because I had another can that was sitting in the fridge from a previous 6-pack.
Okay, Jared, what do you think?
I like this stuff. I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Nick?
I'm gonna go with a thumbs up, but I really would almost like kind of do that if I really could. But
I think I'll balance Nick out, because I'll do that.
There you go.
And give it a half fun. It's like
this one, Chippendale for life.
Chippendale for life. What do you guys not like about it?
It's
just meh.
It's kind of like a kind of forgettable. It's like one of them. I find sometimes I find this with Oktoberfest anyway, but like that kind of leaves a sticky flavor in your mouth. Kind of
sticky, coppery.
A lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah,
it's like a copper penny.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's like I like this beer a lot, and I'm glad that it kind of came back in my life. And it's one of the first, I guess, it's like the first Oktoberfest type beer I ever had, and being a Widmer is kind of one of the first craft beers I ever had back in the day, so it's like there's kind of a sentimental attachment for me. But at the same time, it's like I can only have so many of them. I can't sit here and pound a bunch of them. I eventually get tired of them.
I find that with Oktoberfest in general, though. If like a pound, if I pound a lot of them, they're a little too malty sometimes.
We got to pound more sausage and drink less beer. I'm going to agree with Chippendale. I find it slightly underwhelming, but I appreciate that Nick went through so much trouble to get it to us.
Yes.
So I'm going to go. So we're at 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5. That's not bad.
About right.
That's about right. 3.5 out of 5 Chubs. That's good. That's about there, right?
I feel that's about where it should be. Yeah.
Fair one.
Cool. Nick, what video game are you going to pair Okto with? He has no idea.
Damn it. You're right, because I completely forgot to think of a game.
I have one game we could probably do.
Legend of Zelda has Octo Rocks in it.
I was gonna say.
I was thinking Skyrim with the tentacle mod.
There's also Wolfenstein.
Oh, that's good. But someone's picked that. I think Dave's done.
I was gonna say. I
can't remember.
I think Dave picked that. I think we've also picked all the variants too, like New Colossus and.
Yeah, I think both of them. Well, not. I don't think the very original one. You could say Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, pick
All right,
something.
fine.
Wolfenstein 3D.
Wolfenstein 3D.
There we go. There's a 3.5 Chubs and Wolfenstein 3D.
3x3.
Sorry, I apologize for not actually thinking this through.
All right. Well,
That's all right.
what did you guys get at the show? Jared, what did you get at Portland Retro Gaming Expo?
I think I've talked about a game that I've wanted to buy since like the first one, and I finally got it. It's for the Wii. It's Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Ooh.
Nice.
It looks like a
So
pretty clean copy, too.
Dave
How
bought
much?
a copy a couple years ago, and I bought my copy for 20. Where a lot of the vendors that I saw it had it for like 30 or 27 or whatever. So at the very end of the show, we were all just kind of scurrying around looking for that $20 copy.
There were
was
two
still
of
one
them,
left.
and one of them got bought.
Yeah.
So
Haggle
like-
those guys down a good amount.
Yeah.
Too.
And it has all the papers inside, the manual, the little tip guide, whatever, all that stuff. So I mean, it's a complete package for $20. So I thought that was
That's a pretty good deal because I bought a copy of that game probably 3 years ago, and I think I paid like $25 including shipping.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't think it's a Nintendo game. It's a Mario game. It's meant to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, its price is only going to go up every year, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's like
it ain't-
a copy of Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube costs like $65 right now.
Yep. Yeah, it's a Nintendo game. Those things are not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always
Yeah,
going to be a $10, $20 game, even if it doesn't go up. It's like
I've kind of noticed that with some Wii games, especially ones that I've tried to place that I've lost for whatever reason. That I keep trying to find them used on Amazon, and they sometimes go for maybe $10-15 less than what they were brand new. And this is even 10,
and
15 years
Nintendo
later.
glaze.
Yeah.
It's funny as well because, like, a lot of these games, it's like everyone who had a Nintendo bought it. Well, perhaps not everyone, but it's not like an unpopular game, if that makes sense.
Speaking of games, Nick, Wii games, what did you get at the show?
Well, I came in a little overwhelmed and underprepared.
No,
I didn't.
Fun of it sometimes, though.
Yeah, it is the kind of how it is how it is.
Yes, but no, and I'm glad because I partially was gonna follow Jared's lead and pick up Super Mario Galaxy 2, and then fiance showed me I already had it because I wasn't sure if I went and bought it or not. But I don't know which of my older consoles actually work and which ones don't. I mean, I know my PS2 works because I actually went and bought that one a few years ago. I'm pretty sure my Dreamcast works, but I don't know if any of my Super Nintendo, my Nintendo Genesis, the PS1, I don't know if any of those work. So it's like I don't want to, go after a bunch of games and be
PS1 would be
brokenhearted when I
fine
get home.
because you have PS2 or.
Yeah.
Do you have a PS?
so-
do you have
Yeah, I guess there's that.
What?
What?
So I have to tell this story. Since I bought that Wii game, I took my Wii system out. And Dave, you remember the controllers that were in that box. One of them was like this weird, like third-party, like silicone black plastic.
Yep.
That I took it out of the box and it was like disintegrating. It stuck to my hand. It was
Jeez.
disgusting.
You used the wrong kind of lube, Jared.
Yeah, I know. That Tomb Raider game,
So Nick, what
But
did you
no,
get?
it was gross.
So thankfully, I had a 14-year-old girl that lives at my house tag along with us today. And I put my Wii in her room along with my older 55-inch TV, which it could still connect to. And she's been saying for a while now that she wants Just Dance. And lo and behold, we found a place that had all 4 games. So $28 later, we have the whole series.
Nice.
And I bought a bunch of stickers too for my desk.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
Did she have a good time?
Yeah, I think she did. She really enjoyed the I almost said Need for Speed.
Oh, the Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious. Yeah. The I mean, they had 2 games there where you actually sit in the driver's seat or whatever. One of them was actually working where it like kind of throws you around and stuff.
Yeah,
The
I
other
saw
one
that. It
didn't
was like goes
much.
up and it's like stand 3
Yeah.
foot back.
Oh, she was in love with that game.
That's cool.
Nice.
She did it fair where she played, and if there was a line, she would get
Yep.
up and let
I've
the other
won
kids
credit,
play, and
yeah.
she'd get back in line. But
Cool.
then there were times where there was nobody in line, and so she just kept on playing. So it's like,
Yeah, good.
go have fun.
Glad,
And then
glad she had a
then I
good
also
time.
went.
That's
And then I
fun.
also spent $15 and had somebody draw a picture of her. And she had my old 8-bit glasses on too, my sunglasses.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Nice.
Dave, what did you get at the show?
I took my child, who got no video game related things, found the steampunk place and got some stuff, and I kind of followed suit until the very end. There was a vinyl guy there, and I was looking through the vinyls, and they were all in really great condition, and they were like $5-10 each, and so I ended up with 7 LPs, most of which are Jethro Tull. I already gave away. I did get a playable version of iRobot by Alan Parsons Project, so I've already donated my old copy that I got from Ian, where one of the tracks is a little naft, to my brother-in-law.
Sweet.
So that might go.
Just trying to spread my disease, just trying to get it out there.
That is a great album, and that might be the couch co-optional for today. But video game related, what else did I get?
You got a sniper game, I believe.
Yeah. Oh yes. Sniper. I've got it up on my screen here. Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. So basically, lots of slow motion blowing people's heads open sniper action for PlayStation 5. I mean, it doesn't get the greatest reviews, but I really did enjoy Sniper Elite when I played that. So I figured I'd give it a try, and it might reinvigorate my video game career.
Cool.
So,
well, I just a little tease. While you're away, I think we might be putting together the version 2 Dave Challenge video game list.
well,
what awful games are we going to have Dave play this time?
You're really trying to kill my love of video games. Is that what you're saying?
No
yes,
kidding.
100%.
Yeah. It's like you never want to see me on the couch again.
Oh, if we keep giving you beer, you'll be here. I bought. I have all the Assassin's Creeds except the first one, so I finally bought the first one. Only $5. Really great copy.
Nice.
Like I don't even like. I think the highest I saw it go for was 7, a bunch of 6s, but nothing below 5. So I said that's good enough for me. And then for my further Need for Speed collection, I got Need for Speed Pro Street. This is supposedly not one of the greatest. But
surely you have all the Need for Speed games by now. I know you are pretty complete.
I do have. I think I have most of them. But this is actually a pretty good price. $8.
Yeah.
It's
that's awesome.
So, and then one thing I thought was interesting, and my friend Gabe, our friend Gabe, we know Gabe, but he was there at the show, and we were looking at games, and we noticed that Spider-Man games have a ridiculous markup right now for some reason. And I don't know if it's because of the Spider-Man game from Insomniac that has now driven the market for the other Spider-Man games or the movies or what. But I have this game right here, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I bought this new on Amazon for like, I don't know, $15-20. A used copy at multiple places, full $60.
Dang.
Then there's another game that is another Spider-Man.
Is it any good though?
This game's good. No, this game's pretty good. It's not as good as the Insomniac game, but it's a pretty good game. Then there's another one called Web of Shadows.
Yeah, that one was actually kind of fun.
That Aaron used multiple places, $120.
Wow.
Jeez.
What? Yeah.
What system's that on?
They're both PS3 games.
Wow. It's
or Xbox 360. Yeah.
It's hard to imagine, basically it's more than what it costs new.
I mean, generally PS3 and Xbox 360 games are kind of the retro space, the cheap games, where like PS2 used to be. PS2 is starting to creep up and get more and more expensive. So PS3 is kind of like I've kind of turned my attention to finding holes in that catalog that I want because they're cheap. But the fact that those Spider-Man games are just fucking crazy expensive, it's like, what? Why? It's just weird.
Yeah.
All
It's like,
Tom Holland's fault.
Movies.
yeah, we're at that sweet spot where most people are, you're on the tail end of it, but people are still trading in PlayStation 3s and Xbox 360s with a ton of games. And
Well, any final thoughts on the Expo, boys? You want to?
I think
No,
so.
it's
I got two new
enjoyable.
experiences. One was I played Battlezone Arcade, and vector graphics, man, they just look so crisp, and they still look like the future to me. But the other thing I played was the Sega Master System with the 3D glasses, and the 3D was actually surprisingly good. But gosh, talk about headache inducing. I managed about a minute on it before because of the flickeriness.
Is it because of Alex Kidd?
Oh god, I don't even
Oh,
talk about Alex Kidd, but yeah, I mean it was, but every time I go there, I play something I've never played before. I mean, I played some Sega Saturn games, which were fun, but.
Nick, what did you? Any kind of closing thoughts?
Yes, I definitely next year. I need to prepare myself. I need to dive in, see what works, see what doesn't, and try and like think of games that I've played back in the day that, or just think of games that I would like to have that I don't.
Yeah,
There's
I think it pays to go with a list.
Give me, yeah, because I mean it's. I mean, like I said, it was like kind of overwhelming, and I was very underprepared because I don't know what works, what doesn't, and really what to look for. And yeah, I just kind of walked in and was just kind of like
Deer in the headlights.
rockets. Yeah, basically, and it was, and I'm glad Sophia was there with me today because at least it kind of gave me something to. Oh, okay, we can go look for something. Great, neat.
Yeah.
Now I can actually feel like a part of this instead of just some cool just standing around like, oh wow, look at all this stuff. I don't know what I want or need, but
it really pays
this
to have
is
a
all
list
cool.
and like some idea of what a good price is for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is take cash, take a load of ones, and make an offer. If you buy more than one thing, if the two things are $10, say, will you take 15 for these two? And then they say no. Well, will you take 17? And you can make most of the places you can
Yes,
make
and
deals.
there was a place that actually had a sign out there that said something like that said, "Hey, don't like our prices, make us an offer."
Well, and at the end of the night, like what is the shop that sponsored it?
Yeah, where I was buying this
no,
stuff.
SideQuest was like at the end of the night. It was like, hey guys, we're just gonna do two. You buy two get one free now. Like so, or make us a deal. So they were just like trying to get rid of shit. So like it. Especially that's why I kind of like staying there at the end on Sunday, but I was just so toasted I just didn't care anymore.
Well, that sniper game had $20 on it, and I'm like, "Is this in the right bin?" He's like, "Yeah, it was in the $10 game bin." And you could see where they like when we got there in the morning, it was like $10 games in this bin, and then it was crossed out by like 2 or 3 o'clock with $5, and they were just trying to blow them out. And they weren't like it wasn't just John Madden games.
Right.
Or like sports games, which sometimes
I did see a John Madden game for like $3,000. I think it was. Like
the one in the kit. Yeah, I saw the I think it was a Genesis one, right, or something.
Yes, it was.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it took every. I mean,
that's the slabbing. That's when you slayed a game.
Well, that's how you can tell that those games aren't worth that much, because if you look at the stalls, there's like one guy sat in a suit at the stall. If those were worth what they said on the things, like 7,000 this, and they've got 20 games that are all worth $7,000 or $8,000 a piece, they'd have some security because, it's really. It really is.
I didn't really want to buy it. I just wanted to smash it because Madden ruined my.
Oh, I know.
Games.
Jared, what did you? Any final closing thoughts?
No, not really. I mean, just take your time, enjoy just looking at everything. Because I don't know, if you're just stressing yourself out looking for titles, it's not quite as fun as it could be if you're just sitting taking it in. Like I'd put my head down and look at stuff for a while, and everybody'd disappear around me, and then it's just like, oh, okay, I'll keep moving, and eventually just kind of bump back into each other, and it's kind of fun doing the bounce in, bounce out. Meet with your friends, talk about what you've seen, move along. There's a lot of just fun times to be had. You can just divide your time because there's a lot of floor space, a lot of things to do, a lot of things to see and play. It's a fun experience. I love going. I'm continue going because it's just enjoyable.
The one thing
It's kind of fun to get all four of us to. Sorry,
Go ahead.
I said it was kind of fun. I mean, it sucked that Jared wasn't able to use Leonardo's swords, but it was kind of fun that we all just kind of descended upon the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when we all just started playing.
Actually, we forgot to mention the fire truck game. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like one of you, it's a ladder truck, and one of you drives the front of the truck, and one of you drives the back of the truck, and it was actually quite fun for a black and white game from 1980 or whenever it was.
Yeah, because if you're in the back on the trailer of the truck, you have to steer in a reverse way than you would normally. So you had to get used to that. It's real fun.
Yep, and then you had the horn when you were driving, and it's like.
Yeah, that's fun.
But that was a fun game. Something just totally different two-player experience than anything I've ever played.
And I never got to play
Columns.
Columns.
Like a game that would be at a carnival. You didn't get to play Columns? Oh.
No, I didn't, because where I saw it earlier, it wasn't there anymore. So.
Oh, really?
Well, actually, that's a tip. If you're in the console area, they have a central bit. They used to just put the games out in a box next to the console, and you could select them yourself. But obviously now with the prices of the games going up, I think they just keep them in a central area.
But you can ask them, and they'll get it for you.
But they have like great selections. I mean, they have all the titles that you would want that you might have to pay $50 or $100 for some of these systems.
Yeah, so if you're sitting at a console and you don't like the game, you can take the game out, go to them and ask for a game, and then they'll give it to you. Because what happens is they'll notice there's a guy that kind of keeps filters around there, and if there's a console not being used, they'll come and switch out. Like, I was playing that god-awful TurboGrafx 16 Falcon jet fighter game, and it was just awful. And I played it for a second, and it was awful. So the guy came by, took it out, put in this little Zelda-like
not
RPG.
the god-awful pinball game.
No.
Yeah, the pinball game was good.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Blast or something.
I just thought whatever game they had there was that is.
No, they used to, and they have like I say, they got a fantastic collection of games because they used to have them out like a CD case with all the games, and it would be like all the titles that you'd want to play, if you know what I mean.
There's just so many more people going now that.
Yeah, and the value of them has gone up. So back, I can imagine back when they started this, you could buy most of them for $20 if you just wanted the disc. You're not bothered about manuals and boxes.
So I want to give a shout out to my cousin Wayne, who him and his wife and his friend or his brother-in-law came, and I got to see them. That was nice. And then at the very end, as we were leaving, Yusef was coming back into the event. So we got to talk to Yusef, who does Twitch streams.
And he walked right by Dave, and he's like, "Is that wait no?"
He thought he was you, but he wasn't sure if you would recognize him. So
I would have. It's a good job though, because I was like, I don't remember seeing Yusef.
Yeah.
But I want to give them the shots out. Anyway, it was a super fun show.
I kept an eye out for him actually, because I know you said he was DJing. So
yeah, he DJ'd Friday and Saturday. They didn't give him a Sunday slot, but really fun show. Something else to keep in mind, this for you, Nick, that they also do a secondary show. They do the swap meet at the DoubleTree Lloyd Center that we usually go to, and that's usually like $5 to get into. It's like a very smaller vendor show, and
no arcade, no
arcade
console
or anything,
thing. It's
no
just
DJs.
Basically swap, trade, buy kind of thing.
So I mean, that's kind of a good start. That's how the show started originally.
Yeah.
And so they've always kept it around, and then the show just got bigger, but they kept that swap meet thing. So we didn't go this year, I think, because everyone was kind of doing different things. But I think that was in February usually or something. Anyway,
I don't recall.
But again, if you have a list of stuff, it's a bit smaller than the one we went to today, but the quality is definitely there, and
well,
you
it's a
can
lot
get
smaller.
a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have found that Game Boy Link cable you've been wanting.
I just need to buy one. They're only $1 or $2 brand new, so that's probably why I
geez.
didn't see one.
All right.
Yeah.
So very quickly, I want to get through this. Let's do some. We'll wrap on PRG. Super fun. Always go. Recommend. If you ever never done it, go do it. I want to get us doing some couch co-optionals quickly. Aaron hasn't talked at all very much. A little bit of beer talk. So I want Aaron, if you have any couch co-optionals of anything you've read, ate, drank, I don't know, watched, television-wise, music.
All right, so I'd say video is things I've been watching. I just finally watched Sonic the Hedgehog. Good movie, actually. I highly recommend that. And there's also this one show on
enjoyed
Netflix.
that.
It's such a good movie. It was really surprisingly good. I just watched this show called Living with Myself with Paul Rudd, where he's like a clone and he's supposed to be dead, but he isn't, so he lives with a clone of himself, and it just goes sideways. It's basic Paul Rudd funny type stuff going on there, but
Cool.
I recommend watching that. This is more local. If you're ever in Washington, Oregon area, I went to Lardo, but had Lardo delivered from DoorDash. So good. Had their Nashville hot chicken sandwich. Oh man, yummy, yummy, getting my tummy again.
Nice.
I would definitely get down on that again. So good.
Cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, you got any couch co-optionals?
Oh god, I did, and then you asked me, and I forgot.
It was. I believe it was
no,
Alan Parsons.
Alan Parsons is awesome, but also I really, and I think I talked about it. The W for Rex is for Wrexham. That was fun on Hulu, and I did enjoy it. And I watched.
Good show. I remember watching.
They released the last couple of episodes on Thursday, I think it was, and I watched them.
Nice.
And it's a good wrap up. So
Cool. Nick.
First of all, last week's beer is. I kind of want to go down here, but it's not that bad, so I'll just go right here.
You've 12-packed it.
No, there was a single beer available at Fred Meyer, so I grabbed it just for kicks. The other thing, I started rewatching. So I think it was available on Netflix a few years ago, where they don't give you like the entire series, but they kind of do like an abbreviated one series or one season of a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Adam Ruins Everything. It's actually on HBO Max now. But I started rewatching that. And then of course I stumbled upon that one video that I shared on Discord, where there are no good billionaires. But anyway, I've just been watching Adam Ruins Everything. It's a fun show.
Nice.
Points out, a lot
Actually,
of
that reminds me.
misconceptions.
I do have one other thing. You should watch the North Koreans sing "Always Look on the Bright Side" live on YouTube. That made me laugh.
Okay. Anything else, Nick?
No, that was it.
That's it. Jared.
I'll save my other show that I was watching for next week because I'm not done with it.
All right. Jared?
Well, the last movie I watched, I don't know if I'd really recommend it, depending on the type of humor you feel like for the moment. But the Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is just like Beavis and Butthead. It's so stupid, but that's the whole point.
Right.
It's still very stupid. Yeah. So,
is this a new movie or is it like?
It is. It came out this year.
Ah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how else to really explain Beavis and Butthead other than it's stupid. Either you like it or you don't. It was fun. That's about it.
Cool.
And kind of related. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to mention Mike Judge. I think people are commenting on. Now I already forgot the name of the movie. It came out. He did it in 2005, but it came out in 2007.
Idiocracy.
Thank you. People are kind of
Brando.
clamoring. Yeah, people are kind of clamoring for that movie recently.
Yeah.
That movie's great.
Oh, I wonder
Oh,
why.
isn't yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
One of them, the president's actually trying to have a real political career, isn't he?
Well, I've always noticed it's funny that the people that actually do like that movie, that I'm kind of surprised that they like it.
So I don't think they get it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like they get it, but they don't get it.
Right. Oh, it's funny, but
Just
it's not.
because of some of the opinions that they may have. It's like maybe we watched two different movies. I don't know, but all right.
Yeah.
Where am I at? Here, you know what? Fucking Johnny Utah, baby. I'm gonna recommend a beer that I don't think we've never done. This delicious, wonderful beer.
Seen it?
But
Pale.
I love Johnny Utah. But
Is that the pale ale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I like. It's pretty good.
Named after a
Is
classic.
it actually from Utah?
No, I don't think so. It's from Seattle.
Good old Seattle.
Well, that breaks my heart.
Anyway, let's see. We have to pick the beer, but Dave is going to be gone. Dave's going away for a couple weeks, so we're going to miss him. He's going to England to visit his parents and have a good time. Hoot nannies.
Oh, are we doing Heineken again?
I'm going to Wales and going to England. Going to go to York.
Cool.
A few other places.
So we get to skip Dave on the beer selection. And
Bring back some fun beers, Dave.
so it's Aaron's turn. And Aaron missed out last time because he couldn't make it. So I don't remember if Aaron had picked a beer for that show or not. So,
Well, I'm trying to think of one that, you know what, I think we should do. I want to do. God, I'm drawing a blank. I haven't had.
Well, all you got, you could steal my selection,
you know what?
Aaron.
You know what? We do not have to. No, we don't. We don't have to. We don't have to decide this right now. The listeners, we can just. We'll
I
figure it
had
out.
one I wanted to do, but I can't remember the name of it.
Well, when you figure the name of it, let me know, and we'll get it. Just put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not hard to
Magic
find.
mystery beer.
Yeah,
No,
mystery
it's-
beer next week, boys.
It's a pretty
Sweet.
All right. That's it. We can, a little shorty episode, but I am exhausted, boys.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap. So I want to thank you all for listening and remind you that you can leave feedback on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word.
No hyphen.
Remember to please subscribe, share, maybe leave us an iTunes review, Spotify. You can watch us now. You also watch us on youtube.com/MilkMountainPictures if you prefer video. It's so weird. I always find it weird, like sometimes an episode gets listened to a lot, or then it has a lower listening count, but then on YouTube it has a high viewer count. Not high, but like more than you would think. I don't know. It's just kind of weird where people.
I think sometimes I put YouTube on in the background and just listen to it, even though it's a visual.
So let's see here.
I'm not dancing around enough for the viewing audience.
Yeah. I want to thank Jared, Nick, Dave, and Aaron.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
For joining me here on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I'm Ian, reminding you to please be excellent to each other. Dance naked with Nick in his room, quietly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please.
Outro.
Yeah.
So you're not going to stay up till midnight, Ian?
It's midnight on the East Coast. Chicago. Yeah, it's midnight in Chicago.
I was going to see in England if my family's unload up the suitcases with stuff, maybe I can get some beers and
Yeah.
bring back some English water.
Yeah, stuff we can't get over here.
Yeah, there's a couple of cans I know right off the bat.